So guys, I wanted to talk about today, and my name is Faith. I'm writing an adult literary fiction novel, so I guess those are my credentials. And I also go to school for creative writing, so I guess that'll be something. I don't think this is just me just making an observation. It's not really just anything, but like this is my like short story novel, no, short story writer to novel pipeline thing. Who knows? Editing me will have like a video title and a thumbnail title and everything else, but that's hopefully good because sometimes when I don't plan it beforehand, it's just like I'm just sitting down scrambling and it's like who knows what my version of myself that is going to be thinking of now. But like like what I'm trying to say is, you know how there are there are poet authors or like poet books, like a book by a poet, and there is like a certain voice and a certain like thing, and there's just like this, I don't know, version of that, and there's just like it's a thing within the literary fiction space. There, like, you know when a poet has written a novel because of the writing and just like all of that. But then I also just wanted to talk about like the short story to novel, just like it's like a short story writer makes a novel basically. So like a poet makes a novel is one group, but like I want to talk about the short story writer makes a novel type of people, like not types of people, but like how I feel like this has become just like a bigger phenomenon within the literary fiction space for, I don't know, maybe it was like certain years. I feel like we're going back to just like very much like novels, about just like novel writers writing novels, or just like novels feel like actual novels right now instead of short stories. And that's basically what this video is about, like how short novels are feeling a lot like short stories, or in the past, like I don't know, between like 2023, like maybe 2022 through 2024, maybe even 2025. 2026 is a pretty good year. But like there was a certain amount of time between a certain amount of, I don't remember. I know 2024 was the peak of this was called phenomenon. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that. So am I talking about this? Why am I talking about this? What am I talking about? Yeah. Okay. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm in college and I'm getting a creative writing degree. This is my first creative writing class of the just like my degree, and basically in this class we have to read short stories every week. We read multiple short stories every week, and I was reading these short stories and I was sitting down and I was like, this is what a lot of novels are doing, and that's like a bad thing, like because okay, like yeah, yeah, let's stay there. I feel like I've tried to make this video and I have like a list of, what is it, outlined things. I hope you guys are seeing that. I don't know how much you guys are seeing, but like I have like a list of those things just so that I could just like talk about them. But I feel like this is kind of just like, I don't know, keeping me in a box. So it's like I'm trying to go outside of that box, but I'm also like I want to touch on every point, so I'm just like all over the place, but I'm also just trying to contain myself. Who knows what's happening, but like yeah. So first step on it is we're talking about the what is a short story. Okay, so a short story is basically a story between 1,000 and 7,500 words. And then like a novel is, I don't even know the word count for a novel, but it's like 40,000 words to as many words as possible. Yeah, so those are like the two different things, but like even though a short story is dictated by its word count, it also has genre conventions. It also has like conventions within its own group that a novel doesn't have. So a short story, just like talking about like the actual conventions, typically a short story tells a story of one main character. It typically isn't about relation, well, okay, it's about one character, one relationship, one event, one, just like one thing. It's about like this specific, very specific thing, and then you just make it a story, and the whole story is about this theme. Typically it's all supposed to say something, or even if it doesn't say something, at the very end you leave the short story with just like a moment. It just feels like a moment in time that has happened, and then it's just like is gone, and that's just like what the short story is, if that makes sense. Like it's a very much just, it's about one thing, one moment, one person, one thing, one theme, one just like, yes, that's just what a short story is. Instead of a novel, which is typically about a bunch of things, it's about complex characters, it's about what's called a storyline, it's about like whatever, it is about just one thing. And that's just, which, okay, yeah, of course there can be multiple things in it, but like typically it's about like one thing. And yeah, so the next thing, okay, so basically we're talking about like the novel to short story pipe, no, short story to novel pipeline. And so we're gonna say, like, I'm gonna say at least all of the features of a short story, because like, yes, I'm saying it's one thing that turns into a novel, what's called, that turns into a story. Like, yeah, it's short stories about one thing, but at the same time it's about a bunch of different things. And I'm just saying, like, these features are how I've noticed this, like the short stories show up in the novel, I guess. Hopefully this video makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I'm not making sense. I'm kind of just like talking about this because I was just sitting down and I was like, huh, this is just weird. Okay, so first off, the first feature of a short story that has made it into the novel is a weird POV. So typically, short stories are allowed to have a second person narration, a yeah, short story narration, a nameless main character. Like, you can do way more with POV and just like character, like specifically on like the writing level, but not the writing level, but like, yes, the writing level, but like the POV-esque side of thing. Yeah, just POV. You can do more things with POV because it's so short. It's not like it's gonna be annoying. I feel like this is what novel writers try to do, except it doesn't work. In a novel, this simply doesn't work because, like, no, I don't want to read a 300-page novel about just like a second person narrative. Like, I have enjoyed second person narratives. Like, for example, I liked the one in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I liked the chapter about the second person. It was a chapter that was in second person, but at the same time, I don't think I could handle that for the whole book. Like, I'm not doing a whole book in second person. It's just, it's not entertaining. And it's like, even though, like, I feel like a short story, like a part of like the whole short story appeal is that you can just like say one thing. Like, you don't have to entertain on anyone. You can't, I feel like with a novel, I'm all over the place. Okay, but I feel like with a novel, you can't be all of, like, no. With a novel, you cannot be not entertaining. Like, you are sitting down and you are asking a reader to stay with you for like at least 50,000 words. Let's say 50,000 words is like the thing, because I feel like that's the NaNoWriMo cutoff. So like, let's just say that's what it is. But you are asking a reader to be with you for 50,000 words. You can't just like be the most unentertaining thing ever, and you can't just like, I don't know, ask of the reader a lot of things. And yeah, there's that. Another just feature of the what is it, the short story novel, let's just call it the short story novel, and just like, I don't know how that's become just prominent in media or something. But yeah, is the writing. Okay, so I feel like short stories have this certain writing style, which I don't know if you guys catch it. Like, wait, I don't even know how to describe the way that short stories are written, but novels are written in that way. And that's literally just like not a here or there, just like thing. It's just like they tend to have the same writing, and I don't like that writing style, but to each their own. But also within the writing sphere, I am talking about story, like the way that the story is written. I feel like novels that are written like short stories, they tend to, like, short stories, you can have the most boring plot line ever. Like, every character is a writer. in a short story. Actually, short stories, the one thing I can give a short story is the fact that they do have a wide range of jobs that the main character does, but like I feel like the stories tend to be a little bit, it depends on the story, but like the mundane stories tend to be the same, but like about a writer, about an affair. I know once I figured out that the affair trope thing from literary fiction comes from the short story, I should have known. Like literally every single short story, like I cannot tell you, because this is like the affair is the only what's called interesting thing in the novel, in the short story. So it's like in there it's kind of fine, but then in the novel it just becomes annoying because it's just like a long drawn out thing. And I feel like within a short story you are allowed to literally not tell the reader anything about the main character is having an affair with, versus a novel. When you do that, it's the most annoying thing ever, because it's like it'll be the most vague thing. That's another thing, we're gonna talk about vagueness within the novel. Like it'll be like a vague main character, a vague love interest, but like I feel like I'm not articulating myself well. Maybe my notes should have been more extensive, but oh well. But yeah, with like you can be more vague, but the problem is with a novel is the fact that if you are vague within a novel, you just can't be that, because a novel is 50,000 words again. And so it's like when you are just continuously vague, never telling the reader anything, it starts to feel like you are, as the author, are just making this decision for literally no reason. And yeah, it's really annoying, because it's just like I have seen this character over and over and over again. Like with the short story, it's like, okay, I've seen this character maybe once or twice. Like, okay, I don't know anything about them, but realistically, does the character know anything about them? Like, you are allowed, which I'm going to talk more about this, to just like have experiences be just like oh, this is really supposed to mimic in real life how what's called having an affair isn't about the other person, is about you and your insecurities, or I don't know, you can say something like that. Within a novel you cannot say that. Like it's not gonna work, because it's annoying. If I see a character come in and out of the screen like 50 times and you sat down and you didn't tell me anything about that character, at this point it's you as the author just not saying anything about the character, and it doesn't become like the character is just like, it doesn't become that theme. It just becomes like you as the author just wanted to do that for no reason. It's just it's annoying, and it's just like a boring thing. And it's just like, okay, so you decided for literally no reason to just like have this affair. Like that's just how it feels within a novel, because it's just like I see that character over and over again. I cannot see a character over and over and over again just for you to not tell me anything about them in a novel versus a short story. But I feel like this became like a huge thing within like 2024. Like this must be me talking about the 2024, I think 2025, it might have been 2025, I don't remember, or 2023. It was one of those years where this became just like so prominent, just like you literally know nothing about the person, just like anyone, and it's just like you cannot, like this is the vague, let's get on to like the vagueness of things. Literally everything's vague. What's called the character's past is vague. The character's relationship with their parents are vague. The character, just everything is vague. In a short story, you can be vague and it can mean something. You can make an excuse for what it means. In a novel, you cannot do that. You can't be vague, as I said with the whole affair thing. It becomes like if a character just keeps coming into the novel over and over and over again, you cannot be vague, especially when it's like a big life thing. And it's like you're sitting down trying to be like vague and say, oh, this is supposed to mean this is supposed to mean this, but it's like, no, you just wanted to just like not say anything about this character. It just feels like lazy writing rather than an intentional thing within a novel. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. I filmed another video. I'm filming like 5 videos while I'm on spring break because I'm not filming any videos in college. So yeah, yeah, that's just the thing. That might be why I'm very scatterbrained, but then we have unrealistic main character. Yes, okay, this is my real gripe why I made this video. The unrealistic main character, it comes from the short story. It fully comes from the main short story. So in a short story, a character, which even in a short story, I don't agree with this. I do not agree with this at any point in time. Characters in short stories tend to not feel real. It because they are very much like one character, one event, one thing. They feel very much one-dimensional no matter what you do, say, whatever. They are very much one-dimensional people, and because a short story is meant to just like, I don't know, in my opinion, it's meant to just like say one theme about something, or just like just have one moment mean something. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's supposed to be about like just one thing. Other people will say something different, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that the character in a short story doesn't feel real. Like, for example, read a short story for my class where a character bit another character in a plane. Like, that's not normal. That's not normal. And you can sit down, you can tell me weird girl fiction, because this is also a weird girl fiction. But it's just like, no, you are not gonna convince me that anything that has happened in this novel, short story, in this novel, whatever, is real. And when it becomes a novel, it becomes even more annoying, because it's annoying in the short story when a character just doesn't feel real. It's like they are saying things that don't feel real. They are doing things that don't feel real. And it's like, here's my thing: you can be a one-dimensional person. You can be a non-real person if it makes sense. Like, for example, if you are a very, I'm gonna do the, what is it, Malibu Rising-esque thing, where the main character is a very helpful person, I guess. You can be, or just not a helpful person, but she gives everything and she doesn't leave enough for herself. So basically you can write a character, which, okay, her character is more fleshed out. Probably, eventually I want to make a video about this, like the one-dimensional character doesn't have to be a bad thing to have a video, but like she is very much one-dimensional, I guess. But she is just like a selfless person, and basically this works because it's like, it's about what is it, like having a little bit of selfishness. And like, I feel like in real life, that can apply to real life, right? Versus a character biting another character, like, and it's supposed to be about obsession, which I'm so tired of this obsession novels. This is just me complaining. I guess I just want to complain and then have like a little video novel thing, whatever. But like the obsession novel is where this shows up so much, where a character will be obsessed with another character, and then, like, for example, like they just like freaking, like, I don't know, steal the character's, I guess is characters. Okay, I was gonna say something crazy, but like they're obsessed with the character, so they put a camera in their room. Like, I'm telling you, it's like this, like it's just like a crazy ass, like, what do you mean? Like, it's like going to the extreme. I do advocate for going to the extreme sometimes, because I feel like going to the extreme sometimes just feels like, it feels real, and it feels like, I don't know, like it does something, and it just like, I don't know, who knows what I'm trying to say, but well, I know what I'm trying to say. But like, I feel like when you go to the extreme sometimes, it does work, because then it just feels like just like the extent to what a person will do because of a feeling, or just like, I don't know, something random like that. But I feel like within like these types of short stories, it'll be like a character literally, I don't know, just does something so freaking crazy for just like, I don't know, for no reason, and then it's like, it's supposed to be about obsession, how obsessed we can get. And it's like, if you want to write about obsession and about how obsessed we can get, you don't have to have a person biting another character. You can have a person, I don't know, keeping the person that, like, for example, another character gave them a, what is it, a Valentine's Day card, and then they keep it. Like, that's so normal, and that's so like, okay, like, you're a little obsessed, and it's like you keep it in your room, and it's like you can't bear to throw it away. And I feel like, and even if you're like married, like, you know what I mean, that's even like, you know what I mean, better. Like, you can do things that feel more real, but like, it doesn't have to be that type of like strange, because first off, like, I don't know, I'm also just not a fan of the weird girl fiction, so like this could just be one of those things. But I feel like this is more prominent in a short story for a character to just be so entirely just weird and just like not, and it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense because it's like this is not about obsession. This is about how weird a person can get, but it also just feels fake. Like it feels like one of those things where okay, like it feels like one of those things that you can say like, oh, a person, what am I trying to say? For example, like this, those types of stories feel like one person and one person only has done that, versus a story where it feels like plenty of people have done that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's a little obsessive to just like keep a Valentine's card from a someone that you met in your childhood and keep it even though you're married. Like, that's a little obsessive and whatever, but it's also just like not fully just what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it just feels so just like not real. Like it takes me out of the fiction. Like, I feel like I'm not a person where you can take me out of fiction very easily. Like, for example, in historical fiction, if something isn't historically correct, I don't know anything about it. In a sports movie, if something isn't sportacally, I just made up that word, but like sportist, I don't know, if it isn't like exactly according to the sport, you can't take me out of something like that because of that reason. But when you can take me out is when a character is just doing something just for the sake of shock value and just for the sake of whatever. And I feel like this also just leads to just like, I do not believe in trauma porn until you come to these types of characters, because it'll be like the character's mother threw a fire at them, and it's like it's never explained, it's never just like, nothing is ever just delved into. And I feel like that is when it becomes just like you're just doing it for the shock, you're just doing it for the entertainment of people, and it's not real, it doesn't make sense, nothing about it is good. And I feel like with the short story, let me put my mind into other people's shoes. Short stories are meant to just like be about experience, a person or whatever, so you are allowed to have a person be extra just like weird and just whatever, because like that's just the point. Like, it's just like, how would you differentiate these two short stories except if one is weirder than the other one, and just like one is just like more just whatever than the other one. So I'm just trying to put myself into people's shoes. But within a novel, yes, you can do that because it's all genre, but at the same time I just feel like it's happening way too many times, and these characters just feel so fake. They feel so just like, what are you talking about? And it's just like, you might as well just make this another genre because they clearly are not in the real world, and it's just, it annoys me. I guess that's why I made this video. Whatever. Clearly I ranted about that one for a long time. Length. Yes, so length. The length of novels. These novels that are within this short story to novel pipeline thing, they tend to, like, short story novel, the short story novel, I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what my thumbnail was gonna be, but the, what is it, the length of novels tend to be like 200 pages, and this is why I'm always just like, I never want to read a 200-page novel because it is really just an overwritten short story, and I feel like that is what I really want to get out in this video. And there's also something else. Are we gonna say that? Let's say that before we say this, because I feel like this really leads into just like something good. Okay, so overall theme. I feel like within short stories about, in my opinion, a good short story just has an overall theme, and it's about this overall thing, and it's just about that and whatever. I feel like within a novel, or just like this overall theme, this overall experience, this overall just like whatever, just one thing, whatever, I feel like within a novel, if you try to do that, let me think, it just becomes boring and just like overwritten. And yeah, let's just go to the last thing because I don't think I can make that tie in well, but like whatever. The length of the novel, so a novel will be 200 pages but is really a short story, and I feel like that is what my biggest problem with this whole thing is. Like, this is not something that just matters at all. It's just the problem about the short story novel is the fact that the short story is just way too long. It is just like a really, 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 really overwritten short story, and it's annoying. Like, I do not want to read a short story that somehow you just made, that you somehow could not keep the short story to 750 words and you somehow got it to 50,000 words, because that is just like, that's like 5 times how long the short story should have been. And I feel like that's the real problem with these short story novels, is the fact that they are short stories, but like they have somehow been made into a novel. And yeah, that's just like really my biggest gripe. Like, at the very least, if you are gonna write a short story, make it a short story. If you're gonna write a novel, make it a novel. And I feel like within the novel conventions are just like making it not entertaining, but at the very least enjoyable to read. Like, I should not be reading a novel and it's just like, and it's boring. Like, a short story novel will lag a lot of the times because it is really just a short story that they just kept trying to lengthen things, but then you're also keeping things vague, so it's like you're not lengthening that short story thread. You just kind of just like left it in the dust. But yeah, it's boring to read. I'm saying all these bad things about short story novels, but maybe they're good. Like, things repeat, things are just like, oh yeah, I think I know what my thematic thing was. It's just like, I feel like a lot of things are for the theme. Like, characters are, yes, this is exactly what I meant by the overall theme, which I cut myself off. Okay, the characters are for the theme. The storyline, well, the storyline should be for the theme, but the character is for the theme. Or not even theme, but like why you are writing the novel, which is a theme, but at the same time, some people are like, oh, it's not a theme, but it's like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, the characters, the writing, like, it'll have like repetitive, repetition in the writing, like over and over again. Just like everything about the writing is just like annoyingly, like, this should be a short story. Like, if it was a short story, I could sit down, I could give it its props, I could walk away. Even though I wouldn't like it, I could walk away and say, okay, it only took up like, I don't know, however long it takes me to read a short story, that much of my time, but it wasn't long. But yeah, everything is for the theme, or just like the main idea. Like, it's just like, for example, if you are trying to, let's say the obsessive novel, you are trying to capture the experience of the obsession, and that's just like the point of it. So like, the character will be like this obsessive person who, what's called, puts a camera in their, what's called, crush's room, and like, it's just like they're doing just like extremely like crazy stuff, and it's like, it's not even supposed to be like this, like, oh my gosh, like serial killer-esque vibes, like a mystery thriller. It's just like, this is supposed to be a normal character, and this is supposed to be about obsession, but at the same time, it's not about obsession. It's about just like this random experience that you decided to have. But like, the character doesn't make sense because it is about the theme rather than the actual character being in the world of whatever. The writing itself in a obsession novel, maybe you constantly name the main character, another unenjoyable thing, but at the same time, you wrote it just for the theme of the novel. Yeah, and then what else? There's other things. Let me think. What did I have? Maybe it's in second person. Oh, maybe the main character is nameless in this obsession novel to signify how obsession can be anyone, which that actually annoys me so much. I didn't talk too much about the nameless main character, where a character will literally be nameless, and then their point is that anyone can be whatever, but I'm also just like, I know that anyone can be this and anyone can be that. You can put a name to a character, and I still know that. It just, like, in my opinion, it just feels like it's annoying, because it's just like, it feels like you don't want to give the character characteristics, you don't want to give the character a name, you don't want to give the character anything. It's like, I can apply this character to myself. And I feel like anyone can do that, and that's just like the excuse for why that is, whatever. But like, it's just like, whatever, like, I don't know. I feel like the character would be nameless to signify that the character doesn't matter, that everyone can feel like obsession, even though you think this character is crazy, you too inside are crazy. Like, you know what, let me actually stop saying that, but like, you know what I mean, like, you too are just like, have characteristics that are bad. Like, I don't know, that's just, it's annoying. And why is this important? That's the last point of this video, and it isn't. Like, it really isn't. I just wanted to talk about this. What I do recommend if you're just like, okay, I don't want my novel to feel like a short story, is read novels. I feel like the reason why this happens is because I went to this creative writing class and I started to realize just like how this could happen. If you are constantly reading short stories and never novels, and you think that they are the same thing, they are not the same thing. If you read novels enough, you will understand the conventions of a novel, and you will easily be able to pick up on what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And yeah, like, and it's like, yes, none of the things I said are bad. Like, I think that there are people who would completely be happy to read a short story novel. They would be fine with it. I do think they would complain about it being a little long. But, and in these novels, they are always, like, people are always like, okay, this was long, this was long, this was long, and it's because it should have been a short story. But, yeah, if you don't want to write a short story novel thing, then just read novels. But why is it important? Again, to that point, it isn't. I just wanted to complain. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I guess yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.